Now we also get to market through partners. And to us, to Mako, our partners kind of look like distributed enterprises in their own right. So if you think about those brands that I just showed you with thousands of locations, our partners are typically deploying to hundreds or thousands of smaller sites in their own right. They could be resellers or MNSPs that are looking after hundreds or thousands of small independent businesses, and they use our technology in much the same way that a large brand or a large distributed enterprise uses it themselves. Our technology also makes it easy for some of these partners to deliver their own technology. You think about scale computing as a perfect example. If we're doing our job right, we make it easier for Scale's technology to be put into customer locations and to be managed from customer locations. So some of our largest partners are deploying their own technologies, which are really innovative in their own rights, and our technology makes it easy for theirs to be deployed. If you think about it, most of the exciting technologies that are in the news every day and that people get pumped about, if the network's not there underlaying everything, those technologies can't exist. So we're all about creating a really solid foundation for the brands that we work with and the partners that we work with to be able to deliver some amazing technology that customers use every day. I've used the term distributed enterprises a few times, so maybe we set a few rules here, or make sure we're talking about the same thing when I talk about distributed enterprises. When I'm talking about distributed enterprises, I'm talking about companies that are made up of a large set of locations, typically small to medium-sized locations. Now, some of those brands you saw on the earlier slide, you know what size their locations are. Many of the locations are spread around the world, so they're not within the reach of a traditional private network. Most private networks are deployed by phone carriers or traditional phone vendor carriers, and they tend to be geographically restricted. Typically American carriers really only have a solid presence in America, and European carriers the same in their part of the world. And a lot of the brands and enterprises that use our platform have locations all over the world. So the network that is all over the world is the internet. So our platform is designed to run over that. So many of these distributed enterprises have a lot of devices, edge devices on their networks that are needing to connect to other places, be able to be accessed and seen remotely. Everything from voice over IP telephone systems, CCTV platforms, Internet of Things services. If you're a business these days and you're running ovens or fridges or freezers, you need to know if they're actually working remotely. So there's sensors and IoT components that these guys have in their networks. They're typically running lots of different applications, everything from digital signage, which is a bit of a buzz at the moment and has really changed the landscape of retail, through to self-service terminals. You'll notice a lot of businesses from supermarkets upwards and downwards are putting self-service things in there. Guest Wi-Fi, which is becoming really common in markets where vehicle electrification is really starting to take place. People need things to do for 30 minutes when they're in a store, so guest Wi-Fi is starting to expand into different areas that never saw them before. And these businesses are trying, or a lot of these businesses are trying to give personalized experiences to their customers. Being able to buy almost anything you want online these days makes it tough for physical retailers to get people into their stores, and technology can help get people into their stores. There are things you can do in a store that you can't necessarily do online in your lounge on a laptop. All of these things we're just mentioning require solid networking for them to be able to work properly. I mentioned it before, but these distributed enterprises are internet dependent. They rely on the internet being up and running in order for them to work. Now, Scale can take some components and actually process the data on the edge of the store's network, which can really help with when the internet disappears for a while. But generally speaking, if you're wanting to process credit cards and things in real time, you need your internet connection to be up. So these guys, for all sorts of reasons, need resilient and reliable internet connections. They also require secure networking. So if you're sending credit card data, personally identifiable customer information into the cloud, information about stock levels, if you're a gas station and you're sending underground fuel tank levels, all that stuff needs to be treated really carefully and securely. So to get information from the edge into a cloud or into another network, that data needs to be transferred in a secure and encrypted manner.